Hi guys, this is Vysh from Vysh. As you see here, we are completing R.S. Sharma textbook also today. The history wise, like I think spectrum, we are the only channel who have done extensively the coverage of spectrum in English. I'm telling, because in Hindi there are a lot of other playlists and all, which is too much random also, and not complete. Okay, everywhere. But English, the most high quality spectrum series is from Vysh, that we can tell in guarantee, because now if you search even without the name Vysh, you simply search spectrum modern history, it's our channel which will come on top. So hopefully R.S. Sharma also will come soon, because we have now completed it. Today we'll complete. Okay, this is the last chapter, chapter number 27. Up 25 was done long back, and that time itself I could have called it as complete, because the chapter number 26 and 27 is not much, there's nothing new. Okay, it's just a summary of all the previous chapters. So anyway, officially we are completing it today, so it's again one more good achievement for our channel and also for students who are seriously following us. Okay, so ancient history and modern history, this one video series wise we have completed. But again, I'm telling students, just watching video series will not be enough. You have to read the textbook yourself, and you have to do two things. You have to write mains answers for all these chapters. Okay, every chapter, any number of questions will be fine. You have to do it, and prelims also, high quality MCQs you have to solve. Okay, there's no point solving the daily MCQs kind of thing which you get here and there on free in the internet. Okay, because they give very low quality questions, which I have seen personally. It is not at all meeting UPSC standards. Okay, they'll be simply changing one date or 1 year and simply asking like Akbar was born in this year, and they will change the year. Okay, this kind of questions UPSC is not going to ask. Okay, you have to know the relation between different kingdoms. You have to know, because UPSC always asks a comparative kind of thing. Okay, like he is contemporary to this, like Buddha is contemporary to someone, like they will ask things of two different things in one single MCQ. So if you have to do that, you have to solve that, you need to know that whole concept. Okay, it's not like by hearting facts alone. Okay, that is why a proper prelims and mains test series is very much essential to you. Now it is like November month. Okay, from June I have been telling you the same thing. So last 5-6 months, if you have listened to me and then joined something and you are doing justice to your preparation the last 5 months, well and good. But if you are still in the same set of those lakhs of students who don't do anything till February or March, then please start at least now. Okay, because any time you start, it is the best time, because I get questions such, like that also, like I am beginning my preparation now, should I join prelims? Because that question is like, actually sometimes it is what to say, we don't feel like answering also, because a serious student will not ask that. Okay, anybody who's starting his preparation, he or she will definitely do the basic inquiries. He will go and explore the things. Okay, before even asking something, he explore the things like what is needed, how is needed, syllabus, what it is demanding, how the previous questions have been. So when you see all these things, obviously a person with minimum common sense or minimum enthusiasm to study for UPSC, he will understand that I have to write something, I have to do high quality questions. Okay, so after that, again asking like I am at this stage, I am at this stage, that doesn't make sense. Okay, so at whatever stage you are, you have to do the answer writing and MCQ solving. Okay, especially mains, before February or March, you have to complete your mains preparation. Okay, as much as you can do, including writing, please do it. Okay, because after that 3-4 months it is very easy. If you know the mains content, then by hearting facts is not a very big thing. Okay, but simply by hearting facts alone now and then hoping like your mains and prelims everything will be good in one go, in one attempt, it is not a good strategy. Okay, so please focus on mains first and then the prelims. Okay, but start solving. Okay, MCQs you can start solving now, but don't focus only on that. So now this test series, I think that slide yesterday also I showed you, mains test series, we have closed the enrollments. But yesterday when we told that we have closed, and again when we repeated it, 2-3 students again came and asked whether we can join this batch. Okay, so if you are joining within 1 or 2 days, maybe we can take you in, because then we can at least complete your test series by February. But if you are just asking and then after 1 month you come and ask in December or January like can I join, then we are sorry, we cannot accommodate you. Okay, because as we told, we cannot extend it beyond February mid. Okay, so if you need to do that, you have to join at least now. Okay, already November 4th we closed it, and now it's like November 11th or 12th now. So today, so please try to do this. Okay, please try to enroll faster if you want. Then the prelims package is out. The full package was already out, and this is the mini packages, which is only for these 5 days. Okay, as I told yesterday, it is for this thing, non-UPSC students who want only a particular subject. Okay, For them this was designed, and for the UPSC students they can get the whole package, okay, because if you buy one package for a trial or something like history or something, it is again, as I said, doesn't make sense, okay, because if you see you have to buy all the 4 packages separately, you are going to spend a lot also, and it is not what to say, convenient for a student to study that way. So if it's a UPSC student, better go for the full package where you will get all the subjects, okay, including everything, current affairs, revision charts, snippet cards and all. And these revision cards and snippet cards is only available with the full package, okay, it is not available with the mini packages, okay. So now we'll go on to the R.S. Sharma last chapter, so that we can officially close this also. It's again a small chapter, so it will be telling about the polity, the religious structure, science, and a lot of names will be there, this medical, Indian medical, Ayurveda people and all. So whoever were there that time, those name, their books or something will be there towards the end of this chapter. So just make notes of those particular things which you need to by heart it for the prelims, okay. So religion and formation of social classes. In spite of the existence of towns in Harappan times, and again for about 1000 years from the Mauryan to the Gupta period, the ancient Indian civilization was not as urban as the ancient civilization of Greece and Rome, okay. So this actually UPSC mains question have come, okay, compare the Indian civilization with the others, okay, like the Greek, the Roman, the Egyptian, okay. So that kind of comparison UPSC have asked, so you can begin with such statements, okay. In spite of the existence of towns in Harappan times, and again for about 1000 years from the Maurya to the Gupta, the ancient Indian civilization was not as urban as the ancient civilization of Greece and Rome, okay, because Indians had only 2 phases, first urbanization and second urbanization, but here and all it's like more of urban. The greater part of the subcontinent was hundreds of kilometers away from the sea coast, and it could not develop much trade and commerce, okay. So one reason, okay, it's away from the sea coast. Indian life therefore remained primarily agrarian, and its people comparatively immobile. In comparison with Western cultures, religion exercised a far stronger influence in India. Okay, so trade is lesser in India, and religion is more in India. Every field of ancient Indian life, economy, polity, art, literature, was strongly influenced by religion. In addition to Hinduism, India gave rise to Jainism and Buddhism. Although Christianity came to this country in about the 1st century AD, it did not make much headway in ancient times. Buddhism also disappeared from India in course of time, though it had spread as far as Japan in the east, as far as Central Asia in the northwest. So this Buddhism which was born in India does not exist in India. Okay, that is a UPSC statement actually. Okay, Buddhism born in India but does not exist in India now. But other religions like Christianity, Islam, or whatever which came later, it is still flourishing in India, and it's like good also, because India is known for that multicultural, multi-religion thing. Okay, now in the process of diffusion, Buddhism projected a good deal of Indian art, language, and literature in the neighboring areas. Okay, so that is why even now India has great relation with these Asian countries or Japan or Central Asia and all, because of the spread of Buddhism. Okay, Indian culture is what was propagated from here to there. Religion influenced the formation of social classes in India in a peculiar way. In other ancient societies, the duties and functions of social classes were fixed by law, which was largely enforced by the state. Okay, in other places. Okay, but in India, Varna laws enjoyed the sanction of both the state and the religion. The functions of priests, warriors, peasants, and laborers were defined in law and supposed to have been laid down by divine agencies. Those who departed from their functions and were found guilty of offences were subjected to secular punishments, as well as the performance of rituals and penances, all differing according to the Varnas. Each Varna was given not only a social but also a ritualistic recognition. In course of time, Varnas or social classes and jatis or castes came to be regarded hereditary in the eyes of laws and religion. So overall, the whole idea is, other countries had law by the state. Here it was more of the religion, caste system, Varna system, which is like again dividing. Okay, every time it's like subclasses, this jatis, subcaste, everything. By time, when time proceeds, the things are getting more and more rigid in that area. That's what they're telling. All this was done to ensure that Vaishyas produce and pay taxes, and Shudras serve as laborers. Okay, so this is the reason it was done. Okay, so that the workers are done in one class, and the Brahmanas were considered more purer, and they will be not doing any manual work. Okay, and Kshatriyas were the rulers. The need of carrying out their respective functions was so strongly ingrained in the minds of the various classes that ordinarily they would never think of deviating from their dharma. Okay, so this was like too much ingrained in the minds of these people. Okay, it was becoming more rigid, as I told. The Bhagavad Gita taught that the people should lay down their lives in defense of their own dharma rather than adopt the dharmas of others, which is dangerous. Okay, so this is again a negative aspect of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, they are like strictly following their dharma, and that is actually dangerous. Okay, that kind of strictly following some religious thing is very dangerous. The lower orders worked hard in the firm belief that they would deserve a better life in the next world or birth. This belief lessened the intensity and frequencies of tensions and conflict between those who actually produced and those who lived off these producers as princes, priests, officials, soldiers, and the big merchants. Okay, so again, it's telling the division or the separation between the one who is producing and the one who is consuming on this produce. Okay, hence the necessity for exercising coercion against the lower orders was not so strong in ancient India. What was done by slaves and other producing sections in Greece and Rome under threat of whip was done by the Vaisyas and Shudras out of conviction formed through Brahmanical indoctrination. So there is one common thing you can tell. Okay, there were producing slaves kind of people in the Greece and Rome, but in India it is because of the Brahmanical indoctrination there is this Varnasha and Shudra, so who is doing that manual work. So that is about the religion or caste system. Now philosophical system. The Indian thinkers looked upon the world as illusion and deliberated deeply on the relation between the soul and God. In fact, philosophers of no other country delved so deeply into this problem as the Indians did. Ancient India is considered famous for its contribution to philosophy and spiritualism. But the Indians also developed a materialistic view of the world. In the sixth system of philosophy which the Indian created, we find elements of materialistic philosophies in the Sankhya system of Kapila. Okay, the six philosophies is very, very important. Okay, I have a revision chart also. It's I think already there in Facebook, but if you don't find it there, you have to enroll to the prelims test series where you will get it. Okay, all the six things, who are its founders, what is the idea. Okay, because UPSC have asked in detail about each of these systems. Okay, every year they'll ask at least one. So like it was born around 580 BC, okay, around the Buddhist time, okay, Sankhya system. He believed that the soul can attain liberation only through real knowledge. Real knowledge can be acquired through observation, inference and words. Sankhya system does not recognize the existence of God. Okay, UPSC have asked this, okay, this statement. So if you see, like these are already there in standard textbook. If you do your standard textbook, easily you can score that 2 marks, which usually students are losing it. Okay, so Sankhya system does not recognize the existence of God, and they believed in the real knowledge. According to it, the world has not been created by God, but by nature, and the world and human life are regulated by natural forces. Okay, materialistic philosophies received the greatest impetus from Charvaka. Okay, I think recently in our mains test series also we had a question like explain Charvaka ethics. Okay, so if you have joined our mains test series also, you could have learned it. So this is like more of materialistic. Okay, these are people like who Charvaka, like what to say, material or pleasure. Okay, they are only goal of life is pleasure. Okay, there is a statement also like even if you need to borrow money for enjoyment's sake, then it is okay. That is the philosophy which Charvaka follows. Okay, the philosophy that he propounded is known as Lokayata. He argued that what is not experienced by man through his sensual organs do not really exist. It implies that God do not exist. The Indians thus developed both the idealist as well as the materialist forms of system of philosophy. The idealist system taught that the world as an illusion and ignorance. People were asked by the Upanishads to abandon the world and to strive for real knowledge. Western thinkers have taken to the teachings of Upanishads because they are unable to solve the human problems created by modern technology. The famous German philosopher, okay, so whatever name it is, okay, I am not good in pronouncing this, finds in his system a place for the Vedas and Upanishads. He used to say that the Upanishads consoled him in the life and would also console him after death. So this full paragraph they are telling about the spiritual and materialistic things existed in Indian system and how the Western philosophers borrowed some things from the Indian Upanishads and stuff. Okay, so that is the only thing which is discussed in this paragraph. Like this you just need to understand the gist. Okay, gist of these things, if you know, you yourself can make out answers. Only factual things you need to by heart, which you will be anyway doing for prelims. So craft. It would be wrong to think that the Indians did not make any progress in materialistic culture. They attained proficiency in several fields of production. The Indian craftsmen were great experts in dyeing and making various kinds of colors. The basic colors made in India were so shining and lasting that the beautiful paintings of Ajanta and Ellora are still intact. Okay, so these places one day you should visit. Okay, Ajanta, Ellora, not. So similarly, the Indians were great experts in the art of making steel. This craft was developed first in India. Okay, so this is again one factual information. The Indian steel was exported to many countries of the world from very early times and came to be called woods. Okay, this is actually, I think in prelims it was asked. Okay, woods, it is referring to what? Okay, it's the steel in later times. Now no other country in the world could manufacture such steel swords as those made in Indian craftsmen. Okay, they were in great demand in the entire region from Asia to Europe. Okay, so craft of Indian, like colors and steel, that is the 2 points which is focused there. Okay, polity. As regards political organization, India was the only country with Greece to make experiments in some kind of democracy. The country also produced a great ruler in Ashoka who, in spite of his great victory over Kalinga, adopted a policy of peace and non-aggression. Ashoka and several other Indian kings practiced religious toleration and stressed that the wishes of the followers of the other religions should be respected. Okay, so this Ashoka, Dhamma, these are not very detailedly we have discussed already. Okay, the Mauryan age, Ashoka age, how the Kalinga war happened and how or why he, he changed to this non-violence kind of thing and all. So it's all discussed. It's just a summary. Science and mathematics. Indians made an important contribution to science. In ancient times, religion and science were inextricably linked together. Astronomy made great progress in the country because the planets came to be regarded as the gods and their movements came to be closely observed. Their study became essential on account of their connection with changes in seasons and weather conditions which are important for agricultural activities. The science of grammar and linguistics arose because of the ancient Brahmanas stressed that every Vedic prayer and every mantra should be recited with meticulous correctness. Okay, so that is the reason this linguistics and grammar developed. Okay, because the prayers were stressed upon. So they are linking science to religion and prayers. Okay, in fact, the first result of the scientific outlook of Indians was the production of Sanskrit grammar. In the 4th century BC, Panini systemized the rules governing Sanskrit and produced a grammar called the Ashtadhyayi. Okay, this also is a prelims question. Okay, Ashtadhyayi and Panini match the following kind of thing they have asked. By the 3rd century BC, mathematics, astronomy and medicine began to develop separately. In the field of mathematics, the ancient Indians made 3 distinct contributions, the notation system, the decimal system and the use of zero. Okay, so all 3. Okay, UPSC, maybe you will be thinking like 0 is there and decimal system is there, but this notation system you will be thinking like what is it? Okay, but it is there. Okay, Indians made this discovery or the contribution, earliest contribution. The earliest epigraphic evidence for the use of decimal system is in the beginning of the 5th century AD. Okay, this epigraph and paleograph, what is the difference? I have told you in multiple lectures before. If you don't know, please watch from lecture 1. Okay, the Indian notation system was adopted by the Arabs who spread to the Western world. The Indian numerals are called Arabic in English, but the Arabs themselves call their numerals as Hinsa. Okay, so that is one very strange thing. Okay, Indian numerals are called Arabic numerals, and in the Arab themselves they call the numbers as Hinsa. Okay, so if you know, this Hindustan term also is given by Arabs. Okay, like the Sindhu, the river is there, so whoever is living right of Hindu or the other side of Sindhu, they were called as the people of Sindh or something, and then later it like people kept on telling it and became Hindu. Okay, that is how it is Hindustan. It is nowhere connected to the Hindu religion or something. Okay, it's all starting from the Sindhu river. Okay, whoever lived in this side of Sindhu is the people of Hindustan. Okay, so before these numerals appeared in the West, they had been used in India for centuries. They were found in the inscriptions of Ashoka, which was written in the 3rd century BC. Okay, so it's telling like the numbers were already existing in India centuries back. The Indians were the first to use the decimal system. The famous mathematician Aryabhatta, the timeline is important. Okay, AD 476 to 500, because UPSC have asked like Aryabhatta is contemporary to Ashoka, Aryabhatta is contemporary to Chandragupta. When they are actually checking whether you know the timeline of those people. Okay, so you should know he is actually AD. Okay, 476 to 500 AD. Was acquainted with it. The Chinese learned this system from the Buddhist missionaries, and the Western world borrowed it from the Arabs when they came into contact with India. So overall, India has originated these things. Then Arabs took it. From Arabs, the Western world took it, and also from India, the Chinese travelers took it. Okay, Buddhist. So that is how it spread across India. Zero was discovered by the Indians in about the 2nd century BC. From the very beginning, the Indian mathematicians considered zero as a separate numeral, and it was used in this sense in sums of arithmetic. In Arabia, the earliest use of zero appears in AD 873. The Arabs learnt and adopted it from India and spread it in Europe. So far as algebra is concerned, both the Indians and the Greeks contributed to it, but in Western Europe, its knowledge was borrowed from the Greeks, but from the Arabs who had acquired it from India. So again telling the same thing which I told you. Okay, in the 2nd century BC, Apastamba produced a practical geometry. Okay, so they did decimal notation, zero, algebra, and now they are telling geometry. Okay, for the construction of altars. Okay, altars is that fire altar. Okay, when they do this ritual and puja and all, they'll have that thing, right, that fire altar. That is what they are telling. So that design is actually based on geometry. It describes acute angle, obtuse angle, right angle. Then Aryabhatta formulated the rule of finding the area of a triangle, which led to the origin of trigonometry. The most famous work of this time is the Surya Siddhanta, the like of which is not found in contemporary ancient East. Okay, so here two, three things are there. You should know these people and what they did. Okay, this Apastamba, Aryabhatta, and the Surya Siddhanta. Okay, Surya Siddhanta is a work. Okay, so find out who did it. Okay, whose work it is. The most renowned scholars of astronomy were Aryabhatta and Varahamihira. Aryabhatta belonged to the 5th century and Varahamihira to the 6th. Okay, so again timeline. Aryabhatta calculated the position of the planets according to the Babylonian method. He discovered the cause of lunar and solar eclipse. So even if like UPSC asks a full 10 marker about Aryabhatta, you will get enough content from here itself. Okay, so make a note. So Aryabhatta calculated the position of planets according to the Babylonian method. He discovered the cause of lunar and solar eclipse. The circumference of the Earth, which he measured on the basis of speculation, is considered to be correct even now. Okay, so these are like in 5th century AD and all he's calculating, and it is now even proved as correct. Okay, by modern technology. So he pointed out that the sun is stationary and the Earth rotates. The book of Aryabhatta is called the Aryabhatya. Okay, Varahamihira's well-known work is called the Brihat Samhita. All these books which I have read out now, right? All these have been asked in UPSC. Okay. So please make a note, which belong to 6th century AD. Varahamihira stated that the moon rotates around the earth and the earth rotates around the sun. Okay. So here if you see, this earth rotating thing is told by Aryabhatta also, and it's told by Varahamihira also. Okay. But Varahamihira told about the moon also. Now he utilized several Greek works to explain the movement of the planets and some other astronomical problems. Although the Greek knowledge influenced Indian astronomy, there is no doubt that the Indians pursued the subject further and made use of it in their observation of the planets. Okay, because Indians considered these planets also as God and all. That is why more research or more insights were done by these people. Okay, Aryabhatta, Varahamihira and all. In the applied field, Indian craftsmen contributed much to the progress of chemistry. Okay, the Indian dyers invented lasting colors, and they also discovered the blue color. It has been already stated how the Indian smiths were the first in the world to manufacture steel. This is already covered in previous paragraphs, color and steel. This blue color will again come later in the modern India. You would have studied, okay, the blue, why it was more exported into India, the indigo plantations, the indigo rebellion which happened in 1850s. Then again, a lot of things happened. Okay, at least 2 times indigo revolution happened in India. Okay, so medicine. The ancient Indian physicians studied anatomy. They devised methods to diagnose diseases and prescribed medicines for their cure. The earliest mention of medicines is in the Atharva Veda. Okay, this also has been asked. But as in other ancient society, the remedies recommended were replete with magical charms and spells, and medicine could not develop along scientific line. Okay, so there was one defect. Okay, even though they had the cures and lot of things in this Veda, they had also been engaged in this magical charms and spells, and so it spoiled the whole thing. In post-Mauryan times, Indian produced 2 famous scholars of Ayurveda, Sushruta and Charaka. In the Sushrut Samhita, he describes the method of operating cataract, stone disease, and several other ailments. He mentions as many as 121 implements to be used for operations. In the treatment of diseases, he lays special emphasis on diet and cleanliness. Charaka wrote the Charak Samhita in the 2nd century AD. It is like an encyclopedia of Indian medicine. It describes various types of fever, leprosy, hysteria, and tuberculosis. Okay, so almost every disease, okay, you can name it. It's there in Charak Samhita or the Sushrut Samhita. Possibly Charaka did not know that some of these are infectious. His book contains the name of large number of plants and herbs which were to be used as medicine. The book is thus useful not only for the study of Indian medicine but also for that of ancient Indian flora and chemistry. Okay, in subsequent centuries, Indian medicine developed on the line laid down by Charaka. Okay, so that is why the Ayurveda system is very much important in India, and this government today is also focusing too much on this. Okay, Ayurveda, yoga, all getting closer to nature. Okay, the more you are closer to nature, the more you will be healthier. Okay, that is actually a proven fact, and that is why more, not only India, more countries are focusing more into Ayurveda now. Geography. Ancient Indians also made some contribution to the study of geography. They had little knowledge of the geography of the lands outside India, but the rivers, mountain ranges, place of pilgrimage, and different regions of the country are described in the epics and Puranas. Although the Indians were acquainted with China and Western countries, they neither had any clear idea of where they lay or of their distances from India. Okay, so it's about telling, like within India, whatever is there, it's all there in Puranas and all, but how far is India from different places and all, that they did not have much clear idea. Okay. In earlier times, the ancient Indians obtained some knowledge of navigation, and they contributed to the craft of shipbuilding. Okay. But since important political powers had their seats of power far away from the coast, and since there was no danger from the seaside, the ancient Indian princes did not pay any particular attention to navigation. Okay, you know this Harappa, Magadha, whatever we know, everything is like far away from the coast. So naval thing, it's not much, but you will know when South India, when you learn the Chola kingdom and all, they had lot of things into this shipbuilding and navigation. Okay, they will be traveling to Sri Lanka, they will be traveling to Southeast Asia, so they had much more knowledge. Okay, but the Central India and North India, they had lesser knowledge because obviously they did not need it. Okay, they were not in the coastal areas. Now, art and literature. The ancient Indian masons and craftsmen produced beautiful works of art. The monolithic pillars erected by Ashoka are famous with their shining polish, which matches with the polish on the northern black polished ware. Okay, this pottery also in one of our art and culture mains thesis we have covered. Okay, all the pottery from the old thing to the Harappan age to the modern age, entire pottery we have covered. Okay, you should know it. Okay, which pottery is in which age. It is still a mystery how the craftsmen could achieve this kind of polish on pillars and pottery. The Mauryan polished pillars were mounted by statues of animals, especially lions. The lion capital has been adopted as the national emblem of Government of India. We may also refer to the cave temples of Ajanta as well as the famous Ajanta paintings, which go back to the beginning of the Christian era. In a way, Ajanta is the birthplace of Asian art. Okay, UPSC will ask like this also. Ajanta is the birthplace of Asian art. Elucidate. They will just pick up statements like this. Okay, and what they want you to write is the entire thing about it. So make notes of that. Is why I told UPSC will never ask straightforward questions. They will take a statement like this and then make you think like what all I should write. Okay, they will not simply directly ask like explain Ajanta from this time to this time or explain Ajanta painting. They will not ask as a straight way. Same thing they are asking but in an indirect way. Okay, so it contains as many as 30 cave temples constructed between the 2nd century BC and the 7th century AD. Okay, timeline. The paintings appeared in the 2nd century AD and most of them borrowed from stories about previous incarnations of the Buddha and from ancient literature. The achievement of Indian painters at Ajanta has been lauded by all art people, okay, art connoisseurs. The lines and colors used at Ajanta display a proficiency which is not found in the world before the Renaissance in Europe. Indian art, moreover, was not limited to India. It spread to Central Asia and China at one end and the Southeast Asia on the other. Okay, so overall geography type they are telling, okay, where it's located. The focal point of the spread of Indian art into Afghanistan and the neighboring part of Central Asia was Gandhara. Okay, Gandhara you should know, the Gandhara, Mathura, Takshila, Amravati. These are different places where art flourished. Okay, or schools of learning or whatever. All these kinds of things were very famous in these central points. Okay, so Gandhara here is the entry into Central Asia. Okay. Again, Central Asian Hellenistic art giving rise to new art called Gandhara. Okay, so it's like having influences from Central Asia, and Hellenistic means Greek. Okay, Greek side. The first statue of the Buddha was fashioned in this style. Although its features are Indian, the size and the presentation of the head and the drapery show Greek influence. Similarly, the temples constructed in South India served in some ways as models for the construction of temples in Southeast Asia. We have already referred to the temple at Angkor Wat in Kamboja, that is Cambodia. Okay, that time it's the older name. Angkor Wat is in news, okay, because of restoration work going on, and the temple at Barbuda in Java. Okay, I think this is already covered in our test series. I took it from here only. Okay, match the following. Okay, this Angkor Wat is in Cambodia and this Barbuda in Java. In the field of education, we may refer to the huge monastic establishment of Nalanda. It attracted students not only from different parts of India but also from Tibet and China. The standards for examination were still were stiff, and only those who could pass the test described by the Dwara Pandita or the scholar at the gate. Okay, so it's like an entrance exam is there. Okay, the word entrance, okay, literally if you need to enter into that, okay, you have to clear that test which the gate person, okay, the scholar at the gate is there. He whatever he gives, that test you have to pass. Only then you will get entry into this Nalanda. Okay, Nalanda is also in news because of again the new development of newer version of Nalanda and all. Okay, so Nalanda is one of the earliest example of residential cum teaching institution which housed thousands of monks devoted to learning, philosophy and meditation. In the field of literature, the Indians produced the Rig Veda, which is the earliest specimen of Indo-Aryan literature, and on the basis of which an attempt has been made to determine the nature of Aryan culture. In Gupta times, we have the works of Kalidasa, who play Abhijnana Shakuntalam, has been translated into all important languages of the world. Okay, this Kalidasa and Abhijnana Shakuntalam, I think everybody will learn, but please try to learn at least 5 to 6 other book names which are of Kalidasa. Okay, because Kalidasa has been time and again asked by UPSC. Okay, in match the following, or even they have gone into in depth. Okay, like what is this about? Whether it's a love story or whether it's about some polity of any kingdom, like that they were asked. Okay, whether it's about any accession of anyone to the throne, like that they have asked like what book is of what nature. Okay, so I think this chapter is also done. That means we have completed R.S. Sharma officially. Okay, questions you can see, contribution of everything. Okay, whatever we did, art, language, literature. Then main schools of Indian philosophy. I told you that 6 schools are there. In this chapter, I think they did not tell about everything. Only Sankhya and Charvak they told. But there are 6. Okay, you should learn. Write short notes on Indian medicine, geography, mathematics and astronomy. This one I think you will get points from here itself. Then what did India contribute to science and technology? Again, few points are here, the planets related thing, but you need to know more. Okay. So that's about it. RS Sharma, you have completed. Now obviously I know I'll get comments mostly like please do medieval India, please do that thing, please do this thing. We will be doing lectures, okay, we'll be doing lectures as and when we have the time to do it, okay, but we don't promise you any particular timeline, because we know that serious students are already depending on us with the test series and all, which covers obviously all of these things, okay, medieval, modern, art and culture, everything, both prelims and mains, okay. We are making you write and read everything, so through that students are already learning. So making coming here and making videos for you every time, it's not possible, okay. So when we can, we will do it, okay, because medieval has also started. You can see a lecture series is there, a playlist is there, but because we don't have time to come, and because every video will take at least 30-40 minutes, okay, just for recording, so then again putting it here, then discussing, all these things takes time. So if we have the time, we'll do it, but meanwhile, if you're really into UPSC preparation, get into any test series, okay. I'm not telling Vysh test series. If you feel Vysh is good for you, get that, but any other test series, so that your preparation goes fine, okay. Without a schedule, random studying will not take you anywhere, or will not give you the result which you are wanting for, okay. Now you may not realize it, okay. Once you finish the exam, and unfortunately if you don't clear, that is the time when you realize, okay, I should have heard to them, I should have understood at least when some mentors told us, okay. Because we tell you based on experience, again and again we are telling. We have seen students who follow their own strategy, who do things which we who do not follow what we tell, and then later after they clear or did not clear the exam, they'll come back, and again that time they'll come and ask for the test series for the next year, okay. So you're wasting one full year by not following a disciplined kind of study. So please make a timetable today itself. Even model timetables are there on our channel. Please follow that, make your own timetable, make your own strategy, join any test series which you like, and then make sure that this attempt is your last attempt, okay, and you clear it, okay. So I'll come up with some other lectures, okay, because anyway this is done, so I don't know what I'll be taking up next, okay. Polity we will be continuing after some time, okay. Ma'am is also busy with test series, so that is why Polity is also on hold. Meanwhile, something else also we have in mind, mostly in next 1 week or 2 weeks we will be launching that also. So wait for all those things. Till then, enjoy your learning. Thank you and have a nice day.